and they started this show out
Whew.
with my guy Dax.
With a boom.
I know, and here's the thing: it's going to be controversial, but I'm going to say it.
Say it, please do.
AEW, they had an opportunity to really make a star in Dax Harwood. Dax, the story leading into this tournament, it really felt like this tournament hinged on Dax and Cash and FTR's love for the Hart family. So much of the build up to this tournament really focused in on it was built up mostly by FTR. I got to say, FTR they did a better job hyping this tournament than AEW in some regards. I'm going to be real with you. From an emotional, from an impact, from an importance standpoint, and for Dax and the Cash to go to war with each other just to get a spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Dax to lose at the first match of the entire tournament, he goes out. I'm sorry, man. Like, this was one of those things where I was so upset after it. I was like, wind out of the sails. I was bumming out pretty hard. And here's my thing. I know you already jumped up and you already did the baby. Let's be honest. Adam Cole is always going to be Adam Cole. He's always going to be popular, right? He's got a great theme song, a great entrance. He's got a chant that everybody loves. Adam Cole is going to be over no matter what. SPD. Everybody loves Adam. Everybody loves the Bebe chants, and you love his entrance, and it's a great entrance, right? And it gets a pop every single time he comes out,
right?
But he didn't need this win. And I felt like, okay, yes, as a tag team guy, I get it. Dax and Cash are very valuable to the tag division.
Top guys.
But this felt like maybe he doesn't win the whole tournament, SPD. Maybe Dax doesn't win the whole tournament. But for him to lose on the very first match of the tournament, it just felt like a kick in the nuts, dude. Like, I was so invested in him, watching him go to war with his former partner, watching him hype this up as such an important thing for him as a big diehard Bret Hart fan, other than Darby, there hasn't really been, who also lost, by the way, other than Darby, who else in this tournament has hyped up the importance of this tournament to them? Who has gone out of their way to make a promo that was like, I want to win this tournament because of X, Y, or Z.
At home, not at taping. I mean, you look at
Darby has built up a story, but who else? And that's my point.
Yeah.
And I know you're trying to talk me off the ledge, and you have ever since Dynamite. Let's be honest with you here, dude. Thank God Rampage was an awesome show, because I was bumming after Dynamite, and I'm scrolling Twitter, and everybody's saying what an amazing show it was, and yet Darby. Choo-choo, baby. He stole the show, right? No shock there. Darby and Jeff Hardy had a killer ladder match, which made everybody feel good after the show was over. But this show started out with an absolute kick to the nuts. This was not one where if you're a fan of the homegrown stars of AEW, I get it. Adam Cole maybe is the bigger name, but this felt like a moment where Dax really could have broke through. And I'm sorry, I think that AEW really messed up here, dude. I really do.
No, it's no secret how we feel about FTR and Uncle Dax. He is a fantastic worker. FTR are a fantastic tag team. They are the best in the world for a reason. 6-star matches.
I love hearing you say that. So I love that.
There's no secret of that. That being said, before I go on my take and my rant, I agree with you. I completely agree with you, and I think we're not the only ones in the IWC with that. How would you have felt? Because I know I would have felt differently if this was the finals match.
Right.
Would it have accepted it more?
That's what I mean. Like, and again, I'm an FTR slappy, and I love that now that they're kind of baby faces. You love them so much now. I sound like the guy who's coming around to FTR. You are all in with FTR now, which is great. I love that. But even if I tried to remove my love for these guys and the story that they were trying to tell,
sure,
this would have been totally okay if it was, like you said, the next round of the tournament. If it
The
was the
finals.
finals, even SPD, I'm telling you, if it was anything other than the very first match
You're right.
of the
True.
tournament, you start off Dynamite and you start off the tournament with the ultimate like at this point, the ultimate story of this tournament, the underdog, the guy who has staked a claim to this meaning something to him.
Yeah, he's wearing the pink and black too, even.
I don't know. Am I missing something here? I get
No,
it. I get
man.
that Adam Cole is the big name, and I get it. But as a guy who knows Adam Cole's career and has seen it,
Yeah.
dude, Adam Cole's over. He
You're
doesn't
right.
need to go anywhere further in this tournament. And I felt like this is one of those where Dax could have had a believable run
Mm-hmm.
because it meant so much to him, right? Like this is a guy who
You're right.
is a traditional tag team guy. And we've seen many breakouts from Dax earlier where we've said, wow, like, dude, he's got some singles chops to him. We've seen that in the past. This was a moment, this tournament felt like, to me, felt like a moment where he could have really had a breakout to that next tier, that next level, and it would have been believable to most fans. And it actually would have been something that most fans would have been rooting for to see is, man, this guy cares about this. He really, like, he loves Bret Hart and he's pushing himself to his limits to make it and to win this. And he's the underdog, as Dax always talks about. He's 5'10". No, he's just another 5'10" dude coming from North Carolina. He doesn't look like Wardlow, right? He's just an average looking guy. But the power of the stash and the love for the Bret Hart could have pushed him.
And the power of the chop too.
It could have pushed him. And seeing him break out the sharpshooter, I mean, he executed it to perfection. It could have been something there, dude. I felt like AEW rarely does this, right? And a lot of times they're ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm.
Like with me, with Yuta, I had a hard time coming around to Yuta at the beginning, right?
Sure.
And
all of us.
Now you see, wow, AEW's invested in this kid for a reason. He's looks like he belongs with Bryan Danielson and Moxley, which is incredible to see, right? A lot of times AEW's ahead of the curve with pushing guys. They saw something in the Acclaimed back when we were like, these guys are nerdy guys who are just obsessed with the Young Bucks book cover, right? their first couple raps were so lame. And I remember you and I both were like, these guys, I don't know. I quickly came around, but
everybody loves them.
Tony Khan saw something in those guys before anybody else did.
Right.
And they're usually really good at that. And I feel like this was one of the bigger moments where they just they crap the bed. They crap the bed with a huge opportunity to make Dax into something next level, bro. And even if he loses the next round, think about it. If he goes on, and again, if it were me booking, I would have had Darby and Dax win, which maybe that makes me a sucker for the AEW, long time guys. I don't know. But I felt like those guys needed it more and it would have been more connected more with the fans. But even if Jeff Hardy beats Darby in a hell of a ladder match, which incredible match, right?
Even my back is still hurting thinking about that.
No kidding. Even if Jeff Hardy goes on, then you see Jeff Hardy versus Dax one-on-one.
Great.
And you go to say, okay, the Hardy Boys versus FTR. You have the history there that gets built in. What is the story between Adam Cole and Jeff Hardy?
Well,
why are these guys fighting each other?
I mean, had Ray Phoenix and FTR or Dax in the finals, and you just bring that history back at it. Yes, it's tag teams. Those tag teams put on fantastic matches. Man, I know how you feel and how passionate you are about this, and I completely agree with you.
I'm starting a mini campaign on Twitter. I really am trying.
But, I want to talk about the match itself. I want to give a little sunlight to this.
All right.
In my perspective, yes, I was heartbroken. I was so invested because Dax can make any match so powerful and feel like a main event with his heartfelt, just passionate promos. The guy is a student of the biz. He is passionate about the biz. He lives and breathes and
Proves
dies
it.
wrestling, and it shows. And not many wrestlers in today's age have that kind of passion, and it clearly shows every single time we hear from Dax and we see Dax. It was cool that we heard how big of a pop we were getting for Dax, and the let's go Harwood
Yeah.
Adam Cole chants, and the crowd. Yes, there was some awesome moments throughout a Dynamite, but I still think one of the biggest pops of the night was when Dax threw on that sharpshooter on Adam Cole. And so the crowd is invested, people are invested in all that. And so we could still continue to, it's not too late to continue to push the Dax campaign, because there's never been that kind of swerve, which I think you threw out on our Twitter.
I'd love it.
If
I know
Dax
that
was
it's a wild
the
theory.
Joker and gets reinstated, then it meets Adam Cole in the finals and takes him out, that would be, I don't think anyone would complain about that.
Oh God, I know.
It would be pretty wild if that happened. I don't see that happening, but it would be pretty wild if it would happen. I mean, that's fantasy booking.
It's just because I care. Just because I want to make the point. I really felt like that was the story of this tournament.
Right.
And maybe it was the obvious story.
Right.
But sometimes the obvious stories are worth being told.
And AEW is known for those feel-good moments.
He could have, again, maybe not win the tournament, which we all had him winning the tournament. Maybe we all got caught up in the emotion of it all, right? Dax did a great job selling that story. But I just feel like that's the type of story that, going back to when you and I have started this show from the very early on, we always talked about the breadcrumbs. That was a story where, man, I was eating those breadcrumbs all around town. You would have had me walking blocks, eating up breadcrumbs for blocks. That is a story we're just getting to see Dax chase that dream and pursue that, and what it could drive him to do. Imagine if he gets a W. I mean, again, he's had some great matches, usually losses. You see him lose to CM Punk, right? Like you see him step up to the plate and have incredible singles matches. Losing to Adam Cole, it could have been huge if he beat Adam Cole, especially. You think about this too, and I know that I'm not the only one. Shawn Michaels and Adam Cole, a lot of parallels there, and
sure, of course,
the Bret Hart and Dax, the connection there.